Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Philly, and it has been a hot minute since I've been live. So really good to be in the kitchen, really good to be doing a live stream, and I'm very excited about the recipe that I'm going to share today. So we have been away at the beginning of the month. I don't know if we have any hikers out there that enjoy hiking, whether they enjoy hiking locally or going to some of the amazing national parks that we have across the country. But we've been hiking, I guess, since the boys were in high school. And of course, they're grown and flown the nest now. But yeah, so it was just Hubs and I this past week. And it was a little over a week, maybe 10 days. And we just went all through the Olympic Peninsula. We flew into Portland and then went through all different kinds of parks. Columbia River Gorge, Mount Rainier National Park, Olympic Forest, and Olympic National Park. And that just makes me realize I still don't know what the difference of them are. But you saw signs that said you're entering the Olympic National Forest and then you're entering Olympic National Park. So in any event, it was amazing hiking, and we ended up in Seattle for a few days before we flew home. So that is why we've had some videos here. So I hope you've enjoyed some of the videos. There was one for some summer sips, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do. And there also was one for a fabulous fish recipe, French fish recipe. That's some alliteration for you. And it was simple, easy, a great summer fish recipe that just takes minutes to do, and so refreshing. But today we're sticking with the refreshing theme. Let me just get everything up here. Let's see. And we are going to be making pasta, and I'm going to be trying this no-cook pasta sauce. I've done about three others so far, and just thinking about that, I will try and get that down in the chat. Let me just adjust this real quick. 1 second, friends. Oh, let's see here. Just trying to get my stuff so I can see everybody. All right, yes, so there we go. But so there are a couple on my channel if you want to take a look. I think I started with a simple lemon pasta that was one of my favorite Giada recipes. And then last year we tried a lemon ricotta no-cook recipe that was delicious. And then I think right before that there was kind of a garlic, olive oil, and some herbs, just a real refreshing no-cook sauce, kind of like a no-cook aglio e olio, which is a traditional, easy and simple flavors but delicious pasta recipe. So today we are going to try a no-cook pomodoro. So pomodoro in Italian means tomato, simply, and a typical pomodoro recipe would involve a simple tomato marinara, a simple tomato sauce, and I love making those. But in the summer, I don't want those cooking away for a while, even cooking for a half hour just to get that, some of the richness to kind of, some of the water to evaporate and really develop some flavor in that sauce. So today we're going to do a fresh one. And DS, thank you, absolutely. Oh, I missed you guys too. We had a fabulous time though. The hiking was amazing. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend where we were. But let me get my water back up to boil. Of course, that's one of my hacks. I always make sure before I'm doing any cooking, whether it's for just Hubs and I or if it's for company, I make sure that water is already up so that it's easy to get it back to a boil. So the ingredients we're going to use today are quite simple, and they're wonderful ones that you can find in the summer at the height of their flavor and freshness, and that is tomatoes. So these tomatoes I got, here I've already cut some in half. These I got from our farmer's market. They're local ones. You don't have to have red and yellow. I think they're called sun gold, but if you do, that was what the creator did in his recipe, so I could get them, so I got them. But as we know, flexibility is key in the kitchen, so if you don't, just get what you get. If you just have gold, use gold. If you just have the red ones, use red. And the creator of this recipe, by the way, is Stephen Cusato, and he is, I have all the information below as well as the link that I got the recipe from, And I think his handle that I put below is like not just another cooking show or not another cooking show. He's a great creator. I love his recipes. I love the way he does his videos. So do check him out. He's amazing. So our ingredients, we just need some really delicious tomatoes. We need some Parmesan cheese, Parmesan Reggiano if you can. We need some garlic, and you know me, I'm going to use my little tube, but you can definitely mince one fresh garlic clove. We need some good extra virgin olive oil. So with this simple sauce that is not going to get cooked, the better the olive oil, the better your sauce will taste. So make sure and bring out whatever is your best. Use that for this. And then some salt and a little lemon. And this surprised me when I was watching him do it. Now I know lemon is used in crudo. I actually make some fish crudo and I use lemon or grapefruit, something citrusy. But this was kind of interesting. So I'm really anxious to see how it is. Oh, and basil. We can't forget basil. So the first thing we're going to do is get our pasta ready. We're going to put this sauce together in the time the pasta cooks. So it is going to come together quite quick. This will not be a long stream. So I want to get this pasta measured out for 8 ounces because I want to do a half pound. And this is some that I saw. Yes, I agree. I think this is going to be a great summer dish. DS, when it's hot in the city, because we both live in cities, and I think you're up in Connecticut now, but when it's hot, what do you and Ruby go to as far as in the kitchen when you do not feel like having the oven or stove on a lot? Like we do have to cook a pasta, so we need to turn the stove on a little bit, unless you do it the day before and just reheat, but then you don't get that good gold, liquid gold pasta water that we will be letting a little bit come in when we're transferring it to the bowl. But I would love to know what your favorite summer go-tos are when it's hot. And if you're just watching this as a video down below, be sure to share that. So I found this. Stephen used it looked kind of like a fusilli. I've seen it before. I've not seen it in any stores yet. And you can check out this video to see. But it's similar to a fusilli, but it's a little bit different shape. So I just went and looked for the best one I could find. And this is a well-respected brand, Ramo, I'm not sure how to say it. It is actually, I think this one is one that is either from Italy or local, because I got 2 different pastas and I decided on this one. And this is just a fusilli number 48. I think this one, they maybe get stuff from Italy, but then it's all manufactured here, something like that. I should know my stuff, but I've forgotten because it's the 50 grain. So I'm gonna need to get a half pound or 8 ounces of this. So I'm going to use my handy little measure. And I'm going to put my little bowl on. Oops, oh dear, I didn't want to do that. You can tell it's been a minute because I need to get back to my ounces. There we go, put the bowl on. Do that. All right, so let me open this up. We're just going to pour this out. And it looks like I need to cut it, so let me do that. And of course, then my little thing there is going to probably, yep, it timed out. Nope, it hasn't timed out yet. Okay, there we go. So let's open this, and we're going to put 8 ounces. So you can just eyeball this. Before I had a weight measure, I just eyeballed it, but since I have it, I'm going to see for sure. There we go. Perfect. All right, and this I'm going to tuck away. So one of the things, I don't know if you all know this. I don't know if I've shared this or not, but I'm a pastaholic. Did you know that? I cannot be trusted around extra pasta. So what my little trick, knowing that that's how I roll, is I cook just enough so that I don't have leftover pasta. While I would love to be able to have leftover pasta, I might go back to the fridge before I go to bed that night and go after some. So what I've learned to do is just make enough, and then we're done. So if I want more pasta, I've got to go through all the thing of getting it cooked again. So here we have now a half pound of pasta. So let me show you this one. It's very nice fusilli. I believe it's bronze cut. So I am not typically a big fusilli shape person, but part of it's because I've had so many that weren't really good pastas and they don't really hold their shape and I find they break. So I'm really excited to try this and see how this one does. So let's get these in. I want to make sure I salt this well. So I've got my sea salt that I like to use for my pasta water. There we go. And I'm going to get it dumped in. give it a little stir, and then come right back to you. This is going to take about 8 minutes. Let me get my timer. And this is one we actually want to be completely cooked because we are not going to have the luxury of cooking it on a pan in a sauce and cook it a few more minutes. It needs to be completely cooked when we toss it with our sauce. So let's get to that sauce. So I have a little mini blender. You can use a typical, this is actually a mini processor, a typical blender. If you have one of those NutriBullets, you use what you have, but this is what I've got that's gonna work. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is I need to get a pint of tomatoes. Now I'm actually doubling the sauce because we love sauce here, and since it's tomatoes and so good for you, I'm not really worried about the calories with that. So, and then I'm gonna do this little hack that I don't do often because I actually find cutting little tomatoes a little therapeutic, but if you're doing a ton, you might not enjoy that. So you just take 2 takeout containers. If you save them, we save them to put stuff in the freezer. Like if we get something from out, and you put them between 2 lids and you just bring a serrated knife across, and it's a way to get them done quite quick. So we're gonna add that there. And then this we're gonna add to my, whoopsie, there we go. We're gonna add that to my processor. And then to that, we're gonna be adding, I'm probably gonna do just about all this cheese, about a half cup of cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano. And we're gonna do about a clove of garlic. And I'm gonna use the squeezed garlic, so don't hate me. But it's easy, it is a weeknight, we're gonna make it simple. And then I'm going to squeeze about a quarter of this lemon. So this is to taste. And I think what I'm gonna do is squeeze about half of this. And you can squeeze more, but I kind of want to taste this as it goes because this is something new for me, adding some more acid to this. So I'm just going to add about half of that, half a lemon, which would be a quarter lemon. And then we do want to add a little bit of salt. Let me also check my pasta, give it a little stir. And my towel keeps falling. So Diaz was saying that he loves their salads. Me too. I crave salads so much. I'm just going to put, by the way, just a couple pinches because we can check the salt later. And we love our pastas and lots of fish. Oh my gosh, we're on the same, totally on the same vibe. So Hubs and I are the exact same. And we do a lot of fried stuff too. Well, that I give you kudos for because I get a little nervous about fried stuff. Not so much even the calories, but just the process and all that. So I give you kudos for that. Was there anything food you enjoyed in Oregon or Seattle that you never had had before? Let me think about that. Oh, I'm thinking, I know the one thing. Let me whiz this and I'll tell you on the other end. Oh goodness, there we go. Because it'll be loud. So let me get this whizzed first. I think, oh, and the olive oil. Oh my goodness, I forgot the olive oil. We need, we're gonna put about 2 tablespoons in right now. Okay, and then we can add more later. Yikes, noise, oh my goodness. Fumbling around, you can tell it has been a minute. Sorry for that noise, oh my gosh. There's gonna be more noise, so watch your ears. I'm gonna whiz this. Now you want to get this quite smooth, so I'm going to get my spatula. And again, he uses a NutriBullet, and it really gets it completely smooth. And I see a little bit of skin, which doesn't really bother me, but I want to try to maybe give it one more spin and see if we can get some of this. And DS, I've not forgotten that question. I am thinking on that. There's one in particular, but I'm also trying to think if there was anything else besides the one. So let me get this going. Yeah, just a little bit of skin. Interesting. Okay. So I imagine it depends on what kind of contraption you have for blending. Mine, it blended it mostly, but certainly I don't think I saw all the skin. There was just little pieces. Again, doesn't bother me, but it's more just a visual thing. And so it will just have to do. All right, so now I want to move my stuff. So yes, the one thing I was thinking of was we were having this amazing sushi, and this was in Seattle. It's called Umisaki House. I think Umisaki House was the name of the sushi place, and they had such inventive kinds of sushi. Like, we eat sushi a lot, so we've been to a lot of places, seen lots of different kinds of rolls, and I just felt like everything I looked on their menu was different and creative. And one of the things I love, and I've actually made it on stream, is the crispy sushi rice. And so usually you top those little, and sometimes they're squares, sometimes they're rectangles. These were kind of flat rectangles, and they had a trio of toppings. So one was spicy tuna, one was spicy salmon, and then one was scallops. And I don't remember if they were spicy or not, but they were, tossed in some flavors. So here's me and scallops. So I don't think y'all know this yet, but I'm not a big, by the way, I'm just looking for Parmigiano Reggiano because I'm going to just do a little bit more cheese to be adding to our sauce in a minute when we add the pasta. So I'm not a big scallop person. Hubs loves scallops, and here's the deal on me with scallops. When I taste a scallop, there's nothing offensive about the flavor. What comes through with me is it just tastes rich. And so therefore, I can't eat a lot of them. Like, I can have a taste. I could even eat one that, like, if we're talking one of those big ones. But I just get riched out, which is really kind of interesting. It's just one of the seafoods that kind of does that to me. And I don't really know why, but it is what it is. So I was a little hesitant to try the raw scallops, just because it was new, right? It was something new. And so Hubs, was kind of looking at me like, well, if you don't want it, I can always have, you can have all of one of the other ones, and I'll just have this. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be a trier, because I do try to be a trier. I try, new flavors. There's so many things I like that I would have never liked had I not tried them. So in any event, I tried it, and it was quite good. In fact, I would even say that I liked it better than I like a cooked scallop. Like, it was, and part of it was how they prepared it and the flavorings, that they tossed it with. And it was so fresh. So I felt very proud of myself for trying something new. It wasn't new, like, as far as something that you couldn't get anywhere else in the country, but it was new for me. Now, as far as something that I hadn't had before, we had a great seafood dinner in Portland. So that was all, and there was all, like, things I'd had maybe not prepared that way. And I'm trying to think, with our meals there, all of our food was delicious, but I wouldn't say there was anything I hadn't ever experienced. And that's not to say anything on them, it's just my own experiences. But there is something that a friend of me told me about, and my beeper went off, so I want to try my pasta, see if it's ready. And it's a place, I think it's called Kucher's, and it's a place that's known for their chocolate-covered cherries, and they do cherries in a variety of ways. Okay, let me just check this real quick, and I'll show you actually the package. Let me see, get a smaller one. Okay, no. That's the other thing with fusilli. I feel like it always takes longer to cook than they say on their, guesstimate. So let me show you these cherries. And they have quite a different flavors. And in fact, I brought a bag for my friend. Let me show you her bag so you can see. Hers are the classic. The classic are dark chocolate. Oh, not Kucher's, Chucker. I'm not sure if it's Chucker or Chucker. And anyways, I got these because you could taste the cherries and decide which one you like best. These are called the Cabernet cherries, and they're not as sweet as these. It's the kind of cherry, it says dried tart cherries, and with artisanal chocolate wine essence. Oh my gosh, these are amazing. These are absolutely delicious. So something new that I'd never had. I've had a chocolate-covered cherry, but usually they're overly sweet, and I'm not a big fan. These are amazing, and especially the Cabernet. I I was so happy we tried those. So I'm so glad my friend Tracy told me about that. And, you know, we didn't have any big coffee discoveries. There's so much coffee there. If I'm honest, the best coffee I had, my best coffee experiences. By the way, I'm going to put some of this sauce here so it's ready. And in the sauce, I'm going to just show you that color, by the way. But you can see there's still some skin. So he didn't have skin in his, so I'm a little bummed about that. I'm going to actually slice a couple of tomatoes in here, just to have a couple whole tomatoes so we know what we're eating. He does that, and I thought that was a great idea for texture. So I'm going to get those cut. But the food was great. I actually really enjoyed the local wine. I found that one thing I liked about Seattle especially, we weren't in Portland long enough to know this about Portland, but one of the things I really loved about Seattle is that I felt like in every restaurant they always had local products. So whether it was local fish or local wines, there was always this local element, which I thought was really cool. Okay, so I put some sauce in here and I put the tomatoes. I'm going to check that pasta again. And the other thing I want to put in here are some little basil leaves, not the big ones. I got some big ones here. I'm just going to put some little baby leaves in here. And let me check that pasta, make sure I don't overcook it. Just to we want some of that fresh basil flavor. Have you guys ever been to Seattle? I'd love to know that. And what is your favorite city? If you've been on the West Coast, what's your favorite city there? So let me try another pasta, see how it's going. It's like just shy of being done. So I just feel like, you know how like when fish rests, you feel like it finishes cooking some? That's kind of how I feel about pasta. There's nothing scientific about it. It's just how I jam. So I'm going to bring this over. And we're going to spoon this into the sauce. There we go. And let some of that excess water just come. Oh my gosh, the fragrance. Like I just can't even tell you. And then I'm going to take the rest of this pasta and just pour it over this spider so I can. There we go. Awesome. All right, so there. By the way, I don't know if you saw, but this is a little, now it's not working. This is a little hot pad. It's magnetic, so it actually sticks if your pan is magnetic. Then before we toss it, I'm going to put some more cheese on top, and a little bit of our basil's falling, a little bit of olive oil. And now we're going to toss that. And we have a little bit of a basil falling. So let's give it a toss. Let's see how this comes. And we can always add more sauce. And so what we're going to get is this bright flavor that's a mix of the yellow and red tomatoes. And we're getting the fresh tomatoes that we sliced in there. And I definitely need more sauce. Which is why, even though he's only using half pound of pasta, I wanted more sauce. We are saucy. I shouldn't say, well, Hubs would definitely say I'm saucy, but he enjoys sauce. But I also, I just wanted to make sure I felt like this would absorb a lot of the sauce. And by the way, if it seems a little thin, he suggests using more cheese to thicken it up. You kind of want it to all come together. So let me see here. Let's see. I feel like I want a little more basil. Some of it fell out. I want to put a little more basil in there. Let's see. And again, don't want the big leaves. I love basil. And to me, it just screams summer, So the more, the merrier. Okay. And I'm going to give it a little taste for seasoning. I think the sauce is right because I see a little extra sauce, but I don't really want it too saucy. So let me get my fork. Let's see. Let me see how the taste is. Oh man, that is really good. I think it needs just a little bit of sauce. I'm going to put the rest of this cheese there, and we'll add more cheese on top. I do want a little bit more salt. And I'll add more extra virgin olive oil on top. Okay, so let's plate this up, or bowl it up, I should say. Oh, this is gonna be so nice, and it smells divine. I mean, you know, tomatoes are just, they are singing in the summer. So what better way to use your bounty than in a simple no-cook sauce like this, right? All right, so let me get some of this in the bowl. I mean, it just looks lovely. Wow. Oh my goodness. There we go. And a couple more tomatoes. And I'm going to, of course, get even a little bit more basil because you can never have too much basil, especially since I have all this. I might as well use it. So let's get a few more things of basil because I can. You know, I know with cilantro, there's this gene that makes it where some people don't like cilantro. I hope there's not a gene for basil because basil to me is just the best. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is he shows you put a little bit of extra lemon juice on top. I just put a little squirt and some olive oil. So if you think about that, balances the lemon juice and some Parmigiano Reggiano. There we go. Okay, let me show you. Look at that. Look how lovely and fresh. Now let's take it where the, see if I can just with one hand. Yep. Let's take it where this light's better so you can see how it looks. There we go. Look how gorgeous. There we go. It looks absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Let's bring it to my usual spot, which of course those of you that know me, it's actually the floor, but it works, right? It has a nice wooden background. All right, let's bring this to eat. Let me bring you down, show you the floor a second. Sorry about that, friends. Get you all back up. Hopefully no one's motion sickness, has no motion sickness. And let's try this. I'm gonna get a little tomato. I got some basil. This is divine. And you know what? The lemon juice, it seems, so this was where I was thinking. Why would we put lemon juice? What if the tomatoes are too acidic? Well, first of all, in the summer, they tend to be very sweet anyway. But the lemon juice, this sounds crazy, but it brightens it up, but only in the best of ways. And the extra virgin olive oil helps balance it so that it's not too much. This is so delicious, so easy. This is a keeper. What I like is that usually the no-cook sauces are very olive oil based. And so you have some herbs or lemon, maybe you throw in some ricotta, but this is tomato based, which I love. And you're not gonna miss the cooking. This is phenomenal. I absolutely recommend this. Thank you, Stephen Cusato. This, and I'm not surprised, is as good as I thought it might be. Absolutely delicious. So for your summer tomatoes, how about you make this tonight? So friends, it's a short one. Get a little dip of Philly, but the next one is next weekend. It's for Wings Wednesday. And I'm finally doing a barbecue wing, and it's a Guinness barbecue wing. So make sure you tune in for that one because all these wings I've been doing in my air fryer, and we have yet to put barbecue sauce in. I mean, we've kind of put, gochujang, we've made like these different other sauces, but nothing truly more American barbecue. But we are adding a Guinness, which, getting a little bit of fusion there, but I'm very excited about that. So DS, thank you so much, and tell Ruby I said hello. And for anyone else watching, thank you so much for watching the stream today. And until we eat again, have a great week, friends. See you next time.